Have you ever wanted something so much that sharing it felt impossible even though you knew it would brighten someone else's day? At the edge of Crescent Creek Woods, where the water shimmered like melted silver, lived a young raccoon named Rina. Rina was curious, clever, and a collector of tiny treasures. She filled her tree hollow with smooth shells, twinkling pebbles, ribbon-like leaves, and shiny seeds. But her most precious treasure of all was a beautiful moonstream feather, a long, silky feather that glowed pale blue under the night sky. One warm afternoon, the forest animals gathered by the creek. The flowing water had washed away the stepping stones they used to cross to the berry fields. "Oh no," sighed Flick the otter. "Without a crossing, we can't reach the berries." "We need a little bridge," said Tally the toad, puffing thoughtfully. "Something light and strong." Rina's paws tingled. She knew something light. She knew something strong. She knew something beautiful. The moonstream feather. But no, she thought, it's too special, too rare to mine. The animals began discussing ideas. "We could use reeds," Flick suggested. "Too bendy," said Tally. "Sticks," offered Myra, the mouse. "Too heavy," sighed Flick. Rina stayed quiet, gently touching the blue-tinted feather tucked in her pouch. She imagined it stretched across the creek, glowing softly, helping all her friends cross safely. The image was lovely and painful, because if she shared it, she might not get it back. That evening, as the moon rose, Rina sat by the creek. The water shimmered and whispered against the rocks. Her feather glowed faintly in her paws. Just then, a tiny sniffle reached her. Myra sat nearby, tail curled around her. "What's wrong?" Rina asked. "I dropped the berry basket," Myra said sadly. "Everyone's hungry, and I can't carry enough across without a bridge." Rina's heart squeezed. "I could help," she whispered. But the words tangled inside her. Myra gave her a hopeful glance, but didn't ask for anything. She simply sighed and walked away. Rina looked at the moonstream feather again. She remembered the day she found it, how it floated down like a piece of sky. She had treasured it ever since. But now, in her paws, it seemed to glow with a new kind of light, as if waiting for a purpose. The next morning, the animals gathered again. Still no bridge. Rina gulped. Her paws trembled, but she stepped forward. I have something," she said softly. "It might help. But it's very special to me." The animals turned as she slowly revealed the moonstream feather. Gasps fluttered through the crowd. "It's beautiful," whispered Flick. "It could work," Tally said. "Feathers from the moonstream bird are strong enough to hold weight, even when stretched." Rina closed her eyes for a moment, then nodded. "Let's try." Together, they stretched the glowing feather across the narrowest part of the creek. The feather shimmered like moonlight made solid. With vines and soft bark, they secured it in place. Myra stepped onto it cautiously, and it held. Then Flick, then Tally, one by one, the animals crossed to the berry fields. When Rina crossed last, she saw the smiles of her friends, the bright berries being gathered, and the way her feather shone proudly across the water. Her chest filled with warm joy, not the possessive warmth of keeping a treasure, but the glowing warmth of sharing one. When the day ended, Flick approached with the moonstream feather. "It's unharmed," he said. "You can take it back." Rina blinked. She had expected it to be worn, or wet, or twisted. But it looked even more beautiful than before, reflecting sunlight in soft ripples. "You all needed it today," she said quietly. "That made it shine brighter than it ever did in my hollow." Myra hugged her tiny paw around Rina's. "You helped everyone." "Thank you." Rina felt her heart glow brighter than the feather. From that day on, every creature crossing the creek remembered the lesson that shimmered along the water. Sharing doesn't make your treasure smaller, it makes your world bigger. And whenever Rina looked at the Moonstream Feather hanging proudly in her hollow, she smiled, because its brightest glow wasn't from the moonlight, but from kindness. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to subscribe for more magical animal adventures.